I've got 5 underrated exercises that are gonna blow up your strength, muscle, and athleticism. If these exercises aren't a part of your regular programming, then you're missing out on unique benefits. Let's dive into what they are so you can begin programming them for yourself. First one is the landmine single leg deadlift. Now, you've probably done a single leg deadlift before, whether it be with dumbbells, kettlebells, maybe even a barbell, but the landmine is the least likely that you've used, and also I think the best one. And it's because the way that we load it tends to target our side glute, our outer glute more with the way that we carry the weight. So you can see that by getting set up in our starting position, the weight is off to our side a little bit. And as we go down, this engages that outer glute even more to create stability and offset the fact that that weight is outside of our center of gravity. So we get a little bit more glute action even than normal with our deadlifts by having that weight in a different position than we're typically used to. Next up, we have sissy squats. And you're not a sissy for doing them. You stop being a sissy when you work them into your program. But these are a tough but super good quad isolation movement that you're likely not utilizing. So they look like this. I always use some sort of support because, as I said, they are tough as hell. We want to get up onto our toes, and then it's all about our knees driving forward to get those quads going as deep as you can, and then pushing back up to the top. But really getting those knees out over toes to emphasize the quads, because again, this is a quad isolation movement, much like a leg extension, only different functionality because we're not extending our leg, we're actually bending forward and driving with our body weight. But super underused, super valuable. The side chop is next, and this builds rotational core strength. One of the things that is most overlooked when we talk about working our core is rotation. We have to have the ability to turn with strength and power and without tweaking our back. And the side chop is the king, I think, of rotational strength building. So get yourself a cable stack or a band and work on turning from the torso and making sure that we can build strength with our rotations and with our obliques, our side abs that are going to drive this really beneficial movement for not only your core strength, but your athleticism. In order to move in different directions, to move laterally, we need that rotational strength. This is gonna do that for you. Let's talk about med balls next. If you're not using these to develop your strength and power, then you are missing out on big gains. They are very, very accessible. Anybody can use them. That is a huge benefit, but they are also beneficial for anybody, no matter their skill level, at developing the explosiveness that we want to move with strength and speed at the same time. They're also super versatile. We can do a straight up overhead slam. We can do a rotational side to side slam. We can even get some single leg action in too, and make sure that we're developing that single leg explosiveness and power. We can even, one of my favorite movements to do, use it for upper body push. So we can get into that bent over position and get into an explosive chest press. And if you have a wall available to throw these into, the possibilities are endless for developing that explosiveness. Last but not least is marches, a very underutilized movement for developing our core strength and really being able to maintain a strong torso positioning through dynamic movement. And same as med ball slams, these are very versatile. You can do them in a variety of ways. One of my favorite is a straight goblet hold. So we get into that hold in front of us and then go through a really intentional march, making sure that our core is braced the whole time. We can also go into a normal rack. So we're a little off center here, using a little bit more of that lateral stability. And we can even go all the way overhead. And so we can really add a different challenging element with that overhead stability. We're still off center just a little bit to challenge the lateral aspect, but we've got to keep our core in nice position with arms overhead, which is tough. So you can scale these however you see fit to your current skill level. But as long as we're going through an intentional march, we're gonna work on that core, being able to maintain strong, stable position while we're going through some dynamic movement. Those are the 5 underrated exercises that you're likely not doing enough of or not doing at all and need to work into your programming for all the benefits that I just described. If you're not sure where exactly these movements belong in your workout programming, then go to the description below. I've got a free week of workouts for you there that will lay it all out with no guesswork.